4 panelists from Pakistan, 4 from India. From Pakistan, Mohammed Malik, senior journalist, is joined by political analyst Fawad Choudhry, who is also joining us from Lahore. From Islamabad tonight, we have Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi, former diplomat and executive director of the CISS. And we have, of course, General Rashid Qureshi, former spokesperson to Musharraf. Welcome, gentlemen. Merry Christmas. And what a development out here. Commodore J Singh from Bengaluru is joined by RSN Singh from Patna, former Raw officer tonight, and Maroof Raza, India's trusted voice in strategic affairs and Times Now's consulting editor. We'll have D Bakshi joining us in some time. I want to start with Maroof. Maroof, what a gesture! But the fact is that this is not just a gesture, Maroof. This is a grand gesture. This is a generous gesture. This is a large-hearted gesture. But grand gestures on India's part in the past have unfortunately had a history of absolute betrayal from the Pakistanis. Can we expect the Pakistanis to be a little bit more mature this time in responding to this gesture?
Arnab, yes, there has been, even in recent memory, the downside of every big leap that was taken between the two countries, particularly in the aftermath of UFA. You had, by the time Mr. Sharif and Sartaj Aziz were back in Pakistan, the UFA declaration for that moment was at least torn and set aside because of opposition to what was seen in Pakistan as a giveaway to India's demands. But fortunately, to my understanding, with the NSA level talks and with Sushma Swaraj's visit, much of what was agreed in UFA in principle has been brought on board under the comprehensive dialogue. But there are riders to it, and that is really what will be the ability of Mr. Nawaz Sharif to deliver. Although this particular shot in the arm diplomatically is more for Nawaz Sharif than for gain of Mr. Modi, I don't see anything dramatic coming out in Mr. Modi's favor except him wanting to leave an international legacy of him having moved dramatically forward with Pakistan, which is what the world powers have been nudging India and Pakistan to do. But the big question for me now, Arnab, is what could derail this process all over again? In the past, we've seen every time the two countries decided to move forward, there was something like the Kargil conflict or the 26/11 attacks or the attacks on the Indian Parliament, which obviously put everything back to square one. So is that the big question that is staring at us now after what looks like a great deal of euphoria between the two capitals at this point of time?
I can understand the excitement, Maroof, but that excitement has to now be made a little bit more circumspect. And therefore, I think I began by saying tonight, General Rashid Qureshi and Ambassador, this is to the Pakistani guest, maybe Rashid Qureshi ji can start. You were there in February 1999 when the first big grand gesture was made by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Our then Prime Minister traveling from Delhi to Lahore by bus to be received by Nawaz Sharif. 5 months later, after the two sides had signed a joint statement, we were betrayed with the aggression in Kargil. We invited you in 2001 for a bilateral summit in Agra. You betrayed us. Once again, with the attack on the Indian Parliament. In 2014, Rashid Qureshi, we made another grand gesture by inviting Nawaz Sharif for the swearing-in ceremony. We were betrayed again by the Pakistanis who said we want to talk to the Hurriyat over and above your own government. When will these betrayals end? And when these betrayals end, things will move forward. Do you feel the need for Pakistanis to stop betraying India becomes greater after this grand gesture by the Indian Prime Minister today?
Arnab, I'm quite impressed by the way you twist things and you make them sound what I've been hearing now for the past 2 minutes now, the great betrayal, the betrayal by Pakistan. I mean, I think so much time has passed between what has been happening and the efforts made by Pakistan to move forward on every issue with India time and again. And it's been India, I think, in my opinion, which has been hedging, and yes, they make a gesture to convince the world that India is very magnanimous and India comes forward, but right at the time when you start discussing brass tacks, you withdraw.
But of course we are.
Now, no, hold on. With a lot of, what should we say, hope, I think Pakistan has time and again, and including Nawaz Sharif's visit to India, when he came to visit Modi Saab, I think Pakistan again
General Qureshi
tried to convey to India that we need to get together and talk about all issues
without any prejudice tonight. General Qureshi.
That have created friction between India and Pakistan.
I want you to just be open, have an open mind on what is happening tonight. And General Qureshi, please hear me on this.
You need to have an open mind, Arnab. We've been hearing you for the last 2 years.
Just look at what has happened today and look at your responsibility and the need to take it forward.
Look what Pakistan has done, not realizing that the state of Pakistan, the government of Pakistan, when you talk about issues like the attack on the Indian Parliament, Pakistan or the government of Pakistan or the state of Pakistan had nothing to do with it. Now, what we are trying to do and say time and again that Pakistan and India need to sit together, talk and move forward. And I think this initiative, I'll call it, taken by Modi Saab this time, if it is followed by genuine efforts by both countries, Pakistan and India will move forward. However, I think the onus or the responsibility lies with India, because this gesture that he's made today is something that has been appreciated by everyone. I think by most people.
General Qureshi, may I
I understand, sir. 1 minute.
Arnab, may I just remind General Qureshi? May I just remind General Qureshi? Arnab, may I just remind General Qureshi that when he's trumpeting Pakistan's magnanimity towards India, he, as the chief staff officer and spokesperson to General Musharraf, would remember that it was Mr. Vajpayee, despite being stabbed on the back after the Kargil invasion post the Lahore visit, invited General Musharraf as his first outing as President of Pakistan and gave him a full ceremonial reception in India and acknowledged his importance in the Pakistan-India discourse and gave him legitimacy. So please don't say that only you have been magnanimous. There have been steps taken. I can cite many more examples like that from history. But this you were party to, so you will remember very well, General.
Fawad and Mohammed Malik also into the debate. Maroof, I agree with you. I want a response from Fawad and Mohammed Malik from Lahore, who've been listening on to this. Now it's 17 minutes past 9. And please, appreciate Fawad and Mohammed Malik, how despite the Pakistani positions and betrayals, etc., we have been magnanimous. And please don't be under any illusion that we are not doing you a favor. We are doing you a favor. Because, and I'll give 5 reasons. One, Fawad, it was India that chose to engage with you when the 2 foreign secretaries met in Ufa and the 2 countries agreed to a roadmap on future discussions. It was India that chose to engage with you, Fawad, despite your betrayal post-Ufa, where in the lead-up to the NSA talks in New Delhi, you made it clear that you wish to engage with the separatists first. You want some more examples, Fawad, tonight from me?
No. Arnab, Hafiz Jalandhari Saab has said that Ahle Zuban kab mante the, bade zoron se manwaya gaya hoon. This Prime Minister Modi has learned that Pakistan bashing doesn't pay, and this is a time for Arnab, Goswami and Maroof Saab to learn that Pakistan bashing doesn't pay, and Pakistan and India has to move forward in a positive way. This is what we are saying here in your programs and everywhere else since long. Prime Minister Modi has, Pakistan has not changed its position. Pakistan is
believing that.
No, at the same time,
by news media, it is not. My question to you tonight is okay.
Nawaz Sharif's vision is there.
My question to you tonight is Fawad. Fawad, is it true or not? Fawad, be factual with me. Fawad, be factual with me tonight and just hear me out. Okay? Don't respond like an adversary. You are not my adversary, neither am I your adversary. I just want you to have an open mind tonight, Fawad, and I'll give you one example. Uske baad aap kisi ko bhi quote kare aur aap mujhe kahe ki galat bol raha hu ki sach. Sach baat to ye hai, Fawad Choudhry ji, ki it is India that chose to engage with you despite your attempts to submit fake dossiers about India's involvement in Balochistan to the UN and to the United States, which they rejected. We could have made that a big deal.
Okay, so what you,
but no,
what you gave is
we were magnanimous.
Is genuine, and what
we were
Pakistan
always magnanimous with you. You know what I mean?
See, we have a point of view. We have a point. We have the people who have been trained by raw in India, in Karachi. We have not one way.
Why? When will you get a broader perspective for
Hafiz Saeed is not
that
part
you
of
need
Pakistani state establishment, anyways. Ajit Doval is the chief security advisor, and we are welcoming him. He himself has admitted that he has been involved in terrorism in Pakistan. So this is not the issue. Pakistan has its own case of terrorism.
I am getting concerned.
The question is,
I am getting concerned. I am getting concerned tonight. I am getting concerned tonight, Fawad, at your response. You don't seem to understand.
Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's point of view that yes, come talk and let's move forward. And now it's a time for the Indian media and the extremist element in Pakistan, in the Indian media to come along.
I want GJ Singh. GJ Singh is responding to you. GJ Singh and RSN Singh, please. GJ and RSN Singh. I don't think you're understanding. You're misunderstanding what I say. When I say don't be under illusion that we are not doing you a favor. GJ Singh.
I want to respond to Fawad. I want to put him wise. There is a saying that facts are stubborn things. Now, we have seen all along this 67 years of history of Indo-Pak relations that they have always betrayed us. These betrayals are testimonies, they are facts, they are evidence, they are witnesses that nothing has worked so far. So therefore, we find that these deceptions and these betrayals come up again and again.
History is full of betrayal
tomorrow,
from you also.
If it happens again, it won't be a surprise. Because Pakistan, now at the moment, is becoming very sweet and honey. They are laying a snare, they are laying a trap for the Prime Minister to walk in. And afterwards, like they did with Vajpayee, they are going to do the same thing with our present Prime Minister.
You are not what you are not doing. What you are not doing.
Put a guard against
what you are not doing.
This is something which we cannot just take it as that.
Fawad, what you are not doing.
Cautious optimism.
Commodore GJ, what Fawad is not doing, and I am sure that Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi will do, because he's also been a seasoned diplomat, and I'm sure Mohammed Malik is a senior journalist, I hope, will do tonight, is appreciate the effort that it takes for any government to continue to reach out, right? And Ambassador, continue to be magnanimous with a country that only betrays you repeatedly. Point number one. And who's taking the initiative right now? Okay, Mohammed Malik wants to come in. So Mohammed Malik, will you appreciate that it is India that chose to engage with Pakistan when Modi broke the ice in an intensive discussion with Nawaz Sharif in Paris on the sidelines of the climate summit that paved the way for the NSA talks in Bangkok? It's a personal initiative. It was again India that chose to engage with you when Sushma Swaraj visited Islamabad for a conference on Afghanistan, and the two sides hammered out a joint statement after the meetings with Sartaj Aziz and Nawaz Sharif. Each time, Mohammed Malik, the initiative is from India. Hence, we expect you to now be mature and respond like a mature democracy responds to another.
It's a good move. Let's keep the facts. Let's keep the facts straight. Why did India resume? India broke the negotiations on a flimsy excuse of the Pakistani ambassador meeting Hurriyat leaders. That has been going on every year.
There we go again.
Excuse. You broke the talks on a... Let me finish now. You broke the talks on
there we go again. This cynicism.
You had to begin it.
The problem is with this cynicism.
There's no generosity here. That is... Arnab, there's no generosity here. It's a realization of the compulsions of real politics. Mr. Modi has realized that Pakistan is different from Bangladesh, Pakistan is different from Nepal. You can't just stare everybody with the same stick. You tried militancy, he tried bellicose. As for betrayals are concerned, Mr. Modi himself in his speech in Bangladesh played out the role exactly and conceded what India had done during 1971. So let's not be moralistic on high ground. It's a good development that has taken place. And as far as Pakistan's intents are clear,
yes.
When Pakistan was accused of cross-border terrorism in Kashmir, we were the ones who said, let's have the UN Military Observer Group monitor the border. You guys backed out. When you said Pakistan harbored war ambitions, we offered a no-war pact. India backed out. Betrayals have been from India. Now that Mr. Modi realizes, and I welcome what he's done today, it's a brilliant thing. But what Mr. Modi tried bullying Pakistan, he tried bashing Pakistan.
Your intention,
but your problem tonight. Your problem, Mohammed Malik. Why for once tonight do you not concede and which better place is there for you to concede than on Indian television?
In your introduction you said, Arnab, let me finish. In your introduction, you said Mr. Modi has gone out of his way to come to Pakistan. I think for the first time, Mr. Modi has chosen the right way. He realizes that the way to peace lies in Islamabad and Lahore. A concurrence of views on Afghanistan, a concurrence of views in Kashmir. We did not try molesting the 370 article of your constitution, trying to change the status of Kashmir. You did try, it failed. Now,
sir, don't get into Kashmir. It is none of your business.
Pakistan has been saying
Kashmir is none of your business. Don't go there.
The only way forward is stop.
Sir, I'll tell you one thing.
Welcome Mr. Modi's initiative.
First of all, I will respond to you briefly, Mohammed Malik, on Kashmir and on Kashmir. And on Kashmir, my position is very clear. No, on Kashmir, my position is very clear, Mohammed Malik. Now, I heard you, Mr. Malik. Please hear me, Mohammed Malik, sir. Mohammed Malik Saab, hear me now, please. I heard you extensively, but you must hear me and you must hear some of the other Indian panelists. First, on Kashmir. First tell the people of India that you are willing to withdraw all troops from Kashmir as a mandate of the UN resolution, and then talk Kashmir as an integral part of India. Don't go there. On today's development.
As long Indian Army stops raping Kashmiri women,
on today's development,
honor the commitment
on today's development, I don't want to discuss Kashmir tonight. I'll discuss Kashmir with you separately, but Kashmir is an integral part of India. There's no point discussing.
Kashmiri people speak their mind. We are not trying to dominate Kashmir. You don't see strikes in Kashmir every day. In Pakistan,
Arnab, can I?
You don't see lockdowns.
I now need to let RSN Singh respond to you. RSN Singh, I go back to the debate and I make only one point. I make one point tonight. I make 1 point. One Pakistani panelist, Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi, has not spoken. Neither is RSN Singh. They will respond to each other and then we'll have an open debate. On the point that I'm making, which Fawad Choudhry, Mohammed Malik and General Rashid Qureshi are not understanding. All I'm saying to you tonight, RSN Singh, just make a point and hand it over to you. The point that emerges is that Pakistan has played spoilsport each time a breakthrough was achieved in negotiations. India has tried to reach out, and Modi's visit today is perhaps the biggest such gesture possible. The onus is on you to reciprocate. You cannot afford another betrayal, and if you have any such designs, I would advise you to junk it. Now, RSN Singh, please. RSN Singh responding, and then Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi will respond. RSN.
I was willing to give history a chance, but I thought this gentleman from Pakistan would be sober today after this extraordinary gesture by the Indian Prime Minister. He did the most appropriate thing, and it's a right from Bangkok that we have been dealing disturbed. You're not happy with the disturbed tonight, which is a militarized democracy. And this terminology, this term militarized democracy has been used 2-3 days before in an interview by none other than your ex-foreign minister Hira Rabbani Khar. So, but the test is today, the real test is that when we invited Mr. Nawaz Sharif for the swearing-in ceremony, you tried to kidnap our Consul General in Herat. So after this gesture, I am waiting to see whether the military is on board or not, and what happens.
We are not in power in Afghanistan.
In the
Stop being ridiculous.
So,
what are you talking about? Pakistan trying to kidnap
that would be the real test.
Don't try to win an argument by giving a ridiculous argument.
Let me tell you, sir. There is the apprehension. The apprehension in India is very, very legitimate.
Wants us to trust
People are apprehensive that history may again play itself out in a cyclical manner when you have these kind of diplomatic gestures.
Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi.
Immediate things.
Ambassador Ali Sarwar Naqvi.
Deliverables, let me tell you. That the Punjab government of Pakistan, which has been laying a certain amount, allocating a certain amount for the budget of Hafiz Saeed and his organization.
You even don't know the
what
idea.
Shahbaz Sharif
You are talking about
please don't make up stories.
What you do with Dawood Ibrahim? How you treat the
allocating a part of budget. Tomorrow I'll say you are allocating a part of budget to things in Balochistan. For heaven's sake, don't make a fool of things. This is a mockery. This is such a ridiculous thing.
Look at 1 second. Rashid Qureshi and Ambassador Sarwar Naqvi. Ambassador Naqvi and Maroof on the other side. Maroof on one side and Ambassadors Ali Sarwar Naqvi and Rashid Qureshi on the other. Gentlemen, hear me for a minute. I need your indulgence. You need to hear me tonight, because if we don't hear each other even tonight, it's going to be extremely counterproductive and nobody wants that. My point tonight is this, and I hope, Ambassador Naqvi, you don't take this unnaturally aggressive position that the other panelists from Pakistan have taken. And I hope you're not influenced by the fact that you have a very aggressive, General Qureshi who's sitting to your right, who is refusing to see reason with my argument. My point to you tonight is this, Ambassador. India has taken a high moral ground. I said you cannot afford another betrayal, because if you have some plans of a betrayal, please junk them, because of one reason. We, India, have taken the high moral ground with this magnanimity by showing a willingness to engage with a neighbor whose use of terrorism as an instrument of foreign policy is a fact not lost on the international community. Modi's visit to Pakistan is nothing short of claiming that moral high ground, and by doing so, we are rendering upon you a moral obligation to respond on our terms, that is India's terms. Should you fall short, you will be shamed in the eyes of the world, Ambassador. Should you fall short this time. Well, the world is watching you, not New Delhi. You know that.
Yeah, you see. All right. Now, you see, I'll tell you that I would say that it is better late than never. Please let me speak. Why do you invite me? If you don't let me speak? I am saying better late than never. What the Indian Prime Minister has done is a good thing, as has been told to you by all the Pakistani panelists. So you must take that into account. Secondly, I think it is a gesture and a goodwill act, but it does not mean that we will be able to resolve our problems, because we have already had many such occasions when India has pretended to take a forward step and then has withdrawn. The NSA meeting, the Foreign Secretary's meeting, all these scheduled meetings were cancelled or deferred or postponed. So let India also continue with this positive attitude, because unless we do that, we will not resolve the problems of this region. And India, Pakistan are two nuclear
Maroof, it is clear
states.
to me.
So We have to act responsibly.
No.
We have to act
nuclear threats are laughable, Maroof.
each other. And unless you do that,
yes, you have to act responsibly, sir. Ambassador, you have to act responsibly. Rashid Qureshi on one side and Maroof Raza on the other. I think we have made it amply clear that these overtures are yours, ours, Ambassador. These overtures are not yours. Modi's decision to take a momentous step by visiting Pakistan is showing the whole world. Modi has shown the whole world today, General Qureshi and Maroof, that India is willing to engage despite Pakistani provocation. The whole world, Maroof, will now ask Pakistan and its military establishment whether it is willing to understand the depth of the magnanimity of New Delhi's gesture. The onus is on them, Maroof, and then General Rashid Qureshi. Maroof to General Qureshi.
Arnab, first, I want to go on to the point that you just raised. Quite clearly, a prime ministerial visit of this sort, where some opposition members in India are criticizing that and said that the Indian flag was not flying there was no guard of honor, etc. I mean, these are peripheral issues. The central point is, this was to send out a message to the world and to Pakistan that at the highest level in India, there is a desire to engage with Pakistan more extensively. It is also being done because there is a view in Delhi's establishment that Mr. Nawaz Sharif needs a shot in the arm, whether it is in terms of American aid packages or friendly gestures from India, because he has been pretty much marginalized by the army chief, General Rahil Sharif. Pakistanis may deny it, but The Economist has been writing again and again about it for the last 3 or 4 months. So if you don't agree with it, write to The Economist. The point that Mr. Malik, the journalist, made, I just want to remind him of 3 things. He is talking about Modi having admitted our role in Bangladesh. Sure, we played a role. Even your National Defense College recognizes the role that the Indian Army played in the liberation of Bangladesh. But as a consequence of what you did, and that your Hamidur Rahman report outlines, if you haven't read it, go and read it. You talk about Kashmir and UN resolution. I don't want to go into details. Just click on the internet and read the resolution of 13th August 1948 and it will tell you whose onus of responsibility is what. And finally, Mr. Doval's role as a person who perpetuated terror, as you say, but to that extent, it is recorded evidence that General Kayani as DG ISI, later becoming army chief and completely in denial, was the man who plotted 26/11, and that is why Shuja Pasha was completely taken by surprise when the attacks took place. So please don't just lay all the blame on us. Let us look ahead. Let us see what positive concessions can be made by both sides, and if you are willing to move in sync with us, it is going to be much better for you than for us, because we really don't stand to gain very much by engaging you other than having a peaceful neighborhood. Period.
Okay. No, I'd willingly give a chance to the Pakistani guests to respond, but I do not understand why they don't get it, Fawad, that Modi's visit to Pakistan is a perfect rejoinder to your baseless claims in the UN that we have derailed the dialogue process. Nobody, Fawad, General Qureshi, nobody is going to believe you. This blame game, if you carry it forward anymore after this touchdown by Modi in Lahore, you will lose whatever credibility you've left international.
Who derailed those negotiations? I mean, is there any evidence?
You have consistently derailed the talks.
India who backed out.
I have just told you how we have resumed the talks and you derailed them.
Conference meetings were continuing from years and years, and it was India that backed out.
The Hurriyat conference can't even win a panchayat election. There nobody.
With you guys, I know you guys are really on the back foot and you have no arguments, and so that you have to come up with all this ridiculous arguments.
Worried and concerned?
What are you saying? What are you saying? Why did Sartaj Aziz cancel his visit to India? You are saying we backed out, but Sartaj Aziz, despite a commitment at UFA, cancelled his visit to India. Yes, we called off the talks, but then your people also called off the talks.
Negotiations without Kashmir, this is our standing position, and now Narendra Modi Sahib has to back out. Narendra Modi Sahib has to.
But then why did your foreign secretary, Fawad Sahib, why did your foreign secretary sign the joint statement? Why did your foreign secretary read out the joint statement at UFA where there was no mention of Kashmir? Whose lapse it is, ours or yours?
Issues, and Kashmir is the biggest issue between India and Pakistan. और हम आपसे क्या गाय भैंसों की बातें करेंगे? Obviously,
नहीं, मैं मानता हूँ, फवाद साहब, मैं मानता हूँ कि कश्मीर का मसला आपके दिल से जुड़ा हुआ है, लेकिन मेरा कहना है कि आपके फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी ने उसको ओमिट क्यों कर दिया जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट में उफा में? Why did you omit it?
I need to say something. Let me say something, Arnab.
No, one second. You cannot, you understand the broader point, sir. It is not about letting India down. Mohammed Malik, you can call it a great personal gesture or a grand gesture as a diplomatic move. But point is, Mohammed Malik, that you cannot afford. You hear me, Mohammed Malik. Hear me, Mohammed Malik now. Mohammed Malik, hear me, please. My point to you, Mohammed Malik, is that you cannot afford to let us down now. Because the more you choose to betray us after this, the longer your isolation will continue in the international community, refusing to heed to your concerns over Kashmir and third-party mediation. It is your terror, your lack of commitment to peace that will get highlighted. Not Kashmir.
Let's get the facts right.
The panelists are on the back foot, so you have to sympathize
why
with them
looking
also. Don't be aggressive on them today.
No, why are you looking a bit stumped today? General Qureshi. General Qureshi, I get a very strong sense tonight as I listen to this debate.
Peace a favor. Mr. Modi has done rationality a favor. Mr. Modi has done regional peace and cooperation a favor. Mr. Modi has not done Pakistan
we have consistently done peace a favor.
Always favored
Rashid Qureshi and GD Bakshi, please. Rashid Qureshi.
India keeps one step forward, one step backwards. Please don't blame Pakistan.
But can we depend on you for
Rashid Qureshi, my point to you is, please hear me on this now, Rashid Qureshi, and my question to you is this. Please understand that just before Modi left for Pakistan, Modi visited Russia, and Prime Minister Modi also visited Afghanistan. We are cooperating militarily with Afghanistan. We have given them top-level defense equipment, and we will continue to fortify their democracy and ensure that any threats to Afghanistan's borders from mercenaries from the eastern side will be thwarted. This deep relationship that is building between India, Russia and Afghanistan, and Mohammed Malik, zara sun lijiye. Aap isme disturb mat hoiye. The point is, we have taken a strong line against terror emanating from your country and your refusal to stop it. This visit of Modi after that, after Kabul to Pakistan, is nothing but a message that we will engage with you. You're a terrorist state, but we'll engage with you, but we will not hesitate to continue raking up your proxy war against us in multiple forums so long as you do nothing to stop it. And by visiting Pakistan today, General Qureshi, the moral obligation is now on you to respond. You cannot now, after this, go crying to the international community saying we are derailing the process. Yes, please, the whole world is looking at you. General Qureshi and then General Bakshi.
The problem, yes, Arnab, the problem with you is that it becomes so difficult to have a discussion without.
Sir, don't tell me the problem with me. Understand the problem in the relationship between India and Pakistan emanating from problems on your soil.
Look, you're not one of the panelists, you see. You're supposed to be the one, you're the anchor. So let the panelists speak and...
Yeah, but I will always speak the truth and I'll ask you the direct questions. Please answer my question.
Now, each time Ambassador Naqvi or Malik or Fawad has spoken, you keep interrupting them and just cut their voices off. So how will you listen to the arguments that they have?
Nobody's voice is interrupted, General Qureshi. You are all being heard loud and clear. Go ahead. We are a democracy.
Now the point is, each one of us,
we are a real democracy. We allow diverse opinion on the chat.
Said that the action taken by Modi Saab by coming to Pakistan is something that everyone has appreciated. But what we say is that this should not be the end all. I mean, if it seems from your arguments that you wanted to prove to the world that, look, India is very magnanimous and friendly and they are ready to start talks with Pakistan just by his visit on a birthday to Pakistan. That's now not
on the contrary.
Things will proceed further.
On the contrary,
you've got to now.
On the contrary, General Qureshi, counter to you, General Qureshi. Hear my counter question to you. Hear my counter question to you. Hear my counterpoint to you, General Qureshi. Just hear it, and I have a counterpoint to you, General Qureshi. General Qureshi, I have tracked your position on issues regarding India right from the time when you came with Musharraf for the Agra summit. And I have followed what you have said right from the time that I covered the Agra summit, and you were there with Musharraf on the other side. And hence you know the consistency of my position, and any personal comments regarding me, I will not respond to them. I completely disagree with you in your assessment that I believe that this is the last point as far as the interaction is concerned. No! What have I been saying for 45 minutes? Please understand, General Qureshi, that this has to be the starting point.
You want the
After this, no, this has to be the starting point of your action on 5 areas.
On a birthday,
1 minute. No, General Qureshi, you have to now act on 5 areas. One, you gave us an assurance on the 9th of December 2015 in the joint statement following Sushma Swaraj's visit. You assured India of the steps being taken to expedite the early conclusion of the 26/11 trial. I suspect your intentions, but I want you to act now on that, on Hafiz Saeed, on Dawood Ibrahim, on bilateral talks, on ceasefire violations and infiltrations. I expect you more. I said tonight, General Qureshi, the onus is now on you to respond more firmly than you did in the past. That's the point which you are not getting, General Qureshi, unfortunately. So, General Bakshi, we want to say something to you. General Bakshi.
You know, General Qureshi, may I remind you that there is a deeply ingrained historical cycle in South Asia. We have seen this cycle at play before Kargil. Prime Minister Vajpayee had taken courage in both hands and made that historic trip to Lahore. The bus trip ended in the war in Kargil. We have thereafter, since the coming of Prime Minister Modi, this is the 4th initiative. The last one that was at Ufa, you had the Foreign Secretary Tariq Aziz changed and replaced with a military man. When our Foreign Minister, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj, went to Islamabad and she asked you and you assured her that the trial would be expedited, 26/11 trial, the very next day, this Hafiz Saeed had the gall to say, "Oye Sund," you know, addressing our foreign minister in that very pejorative manner. "Oye Sund, tu mere khilaf koi case nahi prove kar sakti." You know, is this the way that you hope to expedite the trial? We are talking
Fawad is responding
to justice.
He doesn't know anything,
the mass murderers, the mass murderers of 26/11. Can I kindly finish? We are asking you to take action.
No, sir, you cannot finish because you are making wrong statements.
And Dawood Ibrahim is going to celebrate. Dawood Ibrahim is going to celebrate his 60th birthday in grand style in Karachi.
The problem is if you have Dawood Ibrahim, then you have
the problem is entirely this, that every
where are the TTP wallahs sitting right now?
Please, let's not talk at one another.
Why Raw has connections with the TTP?
Kindly
tell me why Raw has connections with TTP.
Kindly give me a chance to finish. I haven't even put across my argument.
Why Latif Masood was meeting... Why Latif Masood was having meeting in Indian consulate?
That 8 years have passed. 8 years have passed. No action has been taken against Hafiz Saeed.
They even don't know that Pakistani foreign secretary is a career diplomat. He is saying he's a military man. I mean, come on, have facts right and then we can obviously talk.
And try to create the impression as if he was
Your General Janjua is a military man, is he not?
He's a national security advisor. He's not a foreign secretary.
That's right. And he was brought in to replace. He was brought in to replace the civilian predecessor because the army did not trust Nawaz Sharif. The army wanted to retain the hold on Nawaz Sharif and the negotiating process. They derailed it.
Come on,
and it will not take long to derail the latest initiative that has been made.
I don't know, Fawad. I don't know, Fawad, what school of foreign policy that you believe in. You must understand, Fawad. This is, I don't know which school of foreign policy you believe in or where you're getting your information. Because you should have realized by now, and all the Pakistani guests should be realizing by now. No, Mohammed Malik, this reach out is unprecedented.
Humble.
This is an unprecedented reach out.
This panel.
These grand gestures don't come every day, Fawad. This reach out is unprecedented. It is not just another photo op.
You're the one who we are saying it's a good gesture and we are very happy that Mr. Modi has realized.
I want to ask Mohammed Malik and Fawad that will they reciprocate this grand gesture?
Exactly.
Will the government of Pakistan and their army reciprocate this grand gesture of Prime Minister Modi?
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Mohammed Malik and Fawad. Mohammed Malik and Fawad, let me ask you this. What are we asking you? We are asking you that after this visit by Modi to Pakistan, where he has shown the intensity, keenness and honesty of his intentions vis-a-vis Pakistan, will you stop the absurdities going on in Pakistan on the 26/11 trial? You assure us of a speedy trial. The government of Pakistan, on the other hand, the witness turns hostile in the previous hearing and one witness says Ajmal Kasab is alive. Will you stop the absurdities after this? Will there be a response from you on the other side?
I'll answer that.
Will you assure us a speedy trial on 26/11?
Well, if you get over with your
point one. Second point is what will you do vis-a-vis Hafiz Saeed, an international terrorist designated both by the UN, the US and the UK as a terrorist responsible for 26/11? Will you stop giving him 5-star treatment after this? Because if you don't,
Arnab, I'm sure your audience loves you, but the problem is you
on the merits of the case.
Let me answer now.
Will you not be hostage to your terrorist military complex?
Mr. Modi,
no, Mohammed Malik, will you stop being hostage to your terrorist
Nawaz Sharif invited him to his house.
It is the military, Pakistan military, ISI terrorist complex which is bringing your national image down.
Both on Qazi front and also will India also stop playing hooky in Balochistan? Will India also stop supplying and fomenting terrorism inside Afghanistan? Will India also stop?
Maroof, I don't get a sense listening to this conversation.
Both sides cannot
I don't get a sense listening to this conversation that the Pakistanis are understanding the opportunity that they are presented with. You're going to let go of the opportunity. You appears to me that the Pakistanis will let go of this fantastic opportunity that Modi has given them.
No, my sincere
recommendation
to the Pakistani guests is, Malik Saab, दूसरों का भी सुन लीजिए. My recommendation to you is that please read what is being reported outside of the Pakistani press. Because the international coverage of events, whether in Afghanistan or elsewhere, is quite contrary to the various articles of faith that you have inherited, whether over Kashmir, Afghanistan, Balochistan, whatever. The fact of the matter is
what are you referring to?
Malik Saab, मेरी बात सुन लीजिए. Should I quote you books? Should I, Mr. Malik, if you will give me the moment of 1 minute to tell you what I'm trying to say. You are constantly going on and on, but listen to the other point of view. I can quote you at least 10 books right now written by Pakistani authors who contradict the position that you are taking. And then you're kind of telling us that we are perpetuating terrorism in Balochistan when Murtaza Razvi of Pakistan's Dawn has written a book about Musharraf, and there's a full chapter in it in which he talks about what you are doing in Balochistan. You're talking of Afghanistan. Should I tell you, go and read the book Descent into Chaos by Ahmed Rashid, and you'll find what you have done in Afghanistan. You're talking of Kashmir. Read Christopher Snedden's book on Kashmir. And you will see how you keep Kashmir under the jackboot. आप क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं? You are not wanting to talk. You are not wanting to talk based on facts. You are basically talking on the propaganda that is given to you by the ISI. Get real, Mr. Malik. Get real.
हम बांग्लादेश नहीं हैं. हम कोई आपकी कॉलोनी नहीं है कि आप हमारे पे एहसान कर रहे हैं. आप रेसिप्रोकेट करेंगे, हम 10 बार रेसिप्रोकेट करेंगे.
Mohammed Malik, by continuously, you appear to be carrying some inferiority complex. We are not talking about that. We are saying that grand gestures will amount to nothing.
No, it's you who has the
the opportunity. Seize the opportunity, Mohammed Malik.
Generosity.
Seize the opportunity. Prime Minister Modi has given you a great opportunity despite your actions.
Pakistan
seize the opportunity.
Equal treatment.
Do a poll.
Pakistan
ask the people of Pakistan. Ask the people of Pakistan whether you should seize the opportunity. The people of Pakistan will tell the generals of Pakistan that respond to the opportunity that has been given by the government of India. I thank you all for joining me.
We want peace, but we will not walk away from anything.
Seize the opportunity.
Browbeat us.
I thank you. I thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.